Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Monty and I document my investment portfolio on a month-by-month basis to inspire, motivate and educate the average person watching this video to really think twice about personal finance and get started on their investment journey. I'm really passionate about financial transparency, and because of that, I show you exactly how much I've made or how much I've lost in any given month. In these videos, I promise to always keep it 100% real with you guys, showing you the ins and outs of my portfolio and shedding a whole bunch of personal finance gems along the way. So today is currently the 3rd of February 2025, and in this video, I'm going to be providing an update on how my investment portfolio has performed over the month of January. But before we get into the bulk of this video, I'm really excited to share that I'm finally going to be launching my investing meme themed e-commerce store, dropping at the end of this month. The site will be live on the 26th of February 2025. And if you want to receive a special 15% discount code on site launch, then head over to the first link in the description, and everyone who signed up to the newsletter will receive the 15% discount code on the day of the site launch. I'm really excited about dropping this brand. I've been talking about it for a good few months now. I'm actually wearing one of the designs for the brand right now, actually. Talk bullish to me, baby. So if you like this design, I'm going to be launching this design along with about 9 or 10 other designs. So if you're an investing or finance enthusiast and want some witty and cool designs on t-shirts, hoodies and sweatshirts, then you know where to head on the 26th of February 2025. I can't wait to catch you guys there. But anyway, getting into the bulk of the video, if you haven't seen my investment portfolio update from last month in January, then I'll leave a link for you to watch it here. At the start of January, I had just over £92,000 invested across both my Vanguard stocks and shares ISA and SIPP, in addition to my InvestEngine stocks and shares ISA and SIPP. So in this video, we're going to be going through how that figure has changed over the month of January and what my total investment portfolio pot is now sitting at. So without further ado, starting with Vanguard, let me log into my portfolio and let's see how things are looking over on that side. Okay, so as it stands, as of the 3rd of February 2025, in Vanguard, across both my stocks and shares ISA and SIPP, I currently have £84,013.25 in my Vanguard portfolio. So that £84,000 is a combination of the deposits and returns that my investment portfolio has made me. I have contributed £63,317.79 of my own money. So this is essentially the money that I've put into my portfolio, hoping that the money that I've invested will make me a return, which in fact it has. So my total Vanguard investment return is now sitting at £20,695.46. My rate of return is now sitting at 54.33%. And I say this in every video, but if you're new to my page, Vanguard work out this rate of return on a time-weighted basis, which tends to actually overinflate your actual return. So it would be nice if my actual return was 54.33%, but it just isn't. This is my time-weighted rate of return. In order to work out my actual rate of return, I simply just divide my return by the amount of deposits and contributions that I've made. So for me, it's a case of dividing £20,695.46 by £63,317.79. And I'll put what that figure is somewhere on the screen right now. But off the top of my head, I think it's roughly about 30%, just over 30%, which of course I'm very happy about. And again, it's really important to emphasize that I've only actually been using Vanguard since the 17th of January 2023. So a return of 30% over that time period is very, very good if you ask me. And what's really cool now is that I've actually grown my portfolio return to a point where it can actually survive a market crash. So even if there was a market crash, which I don't think there will be anytime soon, my portfolio would actually still be in positive equity and I wouldn't technically actually lose any money, assuming the market doesn't crash by more than 30%, that is. And the moment you've been waiting for, how much has my Vanguard portfolio actually made me over the month of January? Let's take a look. So here is my data for January 2025. You can see I started the month with a beginning balance of £80,385.19. This month I invested £456 into my Vanguard portfolio. I have a market gain of £3,172.64. an income return of 42 pence. And this is something that I would actually really like to touch on because I've got this question quite a few times before. What does the income returns relate to on the Vanguard platform? It essentially relates to any cash that you have held in your account, and the income returns is just the interest that you've received from holding that cash in your Vanguard account. And it also relates to any dividends that you might be receiving in that month. For me, I only invest in accumulated ETFs and index funds, so I never actually see dividends coming into my account because it's automatically reinvested. But if you're someone who chooses the income fund type, then yeah, you would see those dividends coming under the income returns category. In terms of fees for January, so I wasn't charged a fee for this month. If you don't know how the fee structure works at Vanguard, essentially they charge an account management fee of 0.15%, which is taken out quarterly. And note that that fee structure that I just mentioned relates to individuals with over £32,000 invested in their account. If you have less than £32,000, then Vanguard are actually changing the way the pricing structure works. So if you have less than £32,000, you'll now be required to pay a £4 compulsory monthly fee to continue using the platform. My personal investments return for this month was £3,173.06. This is essentially the market gain plus the income returns. And then my cumulative returns, which is my total return ever since starting this portfolio, is £20,725.54, which leaves me with an ending balance in January of £84,014.25. All in all, I'm very happy with how my portfolio has performed this month. A gain of over £3,100 is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. And it's crazy actually because I'm finally starting to actually reap the benefits of compound interest. As my portfolio is starting to get to a sizable chunk, it's really interesting to see the daily fluctuations in my portfolio. If the markets perform really well one day, sometimes I actually see a £2,000 increase overnight, which is crazy to me. But then again, it works on the vice versa as well. So some days when the markets are performing poorly, I wake up, check my portfolio, and I actually might have lost a couple £1,000s. But that's the beauty of investing. And that's why it's really important to not focus on the short term, because there's always going to be ups, there's always going to be downs. The stock market can't always go one way all the time. Over the short term, there is going to be volatility, there are going to be fluctuations. But as I always say on my page, as long as you're a long-term investor, statistically speaking, you will always be well off. Anyway, that wraps up my Vanguard portfolio update. Now let's head over to InvestEngine and we'll take a look at how things are performing over at InvestEngine. Just very quickly, InvestEngine are currently offering a free welcome bonus worth up to £100 when you join the platform. I've partnered up with InvestEngine on this, and if you download the link via my referral, you'll get a free welcome bonus of up to £100 when you invest your first £100. And for convenience for you guys, I'll leave the link to download the app in the description of this video. So if you want to check out InvestEngine and of course get a free welcome bonus, you know what to do. Okay, so I currently have £10,412.60 invested with InvestEngine. And this money is spread across my stocks and shares ISA and SIPP account, whereby the majority of this money is actually in my stocks and shares ISA. So first of all, let's head over to the stocks and shares ISA side of things and see what that's looking like. So my InvestEngine stocks and shares ISA value is currently worth £10,301.79, of which £951.79 comes from my return, which works out to be a rate of return of 16.64%. Again, this is a time-weighted return, so that's just something to take into consideration. Scrolling down ever so slightly, here is the chart of my InvestEngine stocks and shares ISA. The blue line represents my contributions and deposits. So you can actually see that I haven't made a deposit into this ISA since the 22nd of November 2024. And then the green line resembles my returns on top of my deposits. So I had actually been dollar cost averaging into this portfolio ever since I started it, which was back on sometime in August the 12th. So that's when I've made my very first investment into my InvestEngine stocks and shares ISA. And then all of these blue lines resemble further buys in this portfolio. So as you can see, as the weeks have gone on, I've just dollar cost averaged into the market. And then the last time I made a purchase, like I said, was on the 22nd of November 2024. And the reason for that is because I've actually maxed out my annual ISA allowance. So I physically can't actually add any more money into this portfolio. So right now I'm just sitting tight up until when the tax year renews on the 6th of April 2025. Scrolling down to my actual investments in this portfolio. So the majority of my money in this portfolio is in a global tracking ETF called FWRG. I currently have £5,443.23 allocated to this fund. The second fund in my portfolio with £3,428.78 in value is VUAG, which is an S&P 500 tracking ETF. And this is the accumulation version. So there is another version called VUSA, and that's the distribute and pay in version. So with that version, you're paid your dividends as cash, whereas with this version, VUAG, the dividends are automatically reinvested into the fund, so you never see those dividends paid to you as cash. And then the last fund in this portfolio is the X-Trackers Nasdaq 100, where I currently have £1,429.75 in this fund. Heading over to the SIPP side of things, you can see I still haven't made any further contributions since my last portfolio update. I currently have £110.81 in my InvestEngine SIPP. And if I scroll down slightly, you'll see that it's all in one fund, FWRG, one of the best global ETF funds ever, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm sitting on a nice, healthy, chunky return of 85p. January was quite an expensive month for me. I just came back from 3.5 weeks in Dubai, so I've decided not to invest anything into my SIPP for this month, just because I feel like I've spent way too much money anyway. But hopefully towards the end of February, early March, I'll start putting a bit more money into my SIPP again. And then of course, when the new tax year renews in April, I'll then be able to start contributing back into my ISA. So things will be back to normal then. So yeah, that wraps up my InvestEngine portfolio update. To summarize, I have £10,412.60 invested with InvestEngine, and I'm sitting on a return of £952.60. So to wrap things up, let's work out my total portfolio balance across Vanguard and InvestEngine. So with Vanguard, I have £84,014.25. And with InvestEngine, I have £10,412.60. So adding these two together gives me £94,426.85. I'm super happy about this number. In my last portfolio update, which was about 3 weeks ago, I had £92,235 invested. So yeah, I'm super chuffed with where the portfolio is currently at as of the 3rd of February 2025. Week by week, we're getting there. We're getting closer to the £100,000 mark. I can almost smell that £100,000. It's just right around the corner. I'm really hoping that within the next couple months, I manage to achieve that milestone. I always like to say that the first £100,000 is the hardest. So I'm really excited to reach £100,000. And you know, from there, the snowball effect will really start to kick in and the portfolio will just explode over the years. But that's the portfolio update done for this month, folks. Recently, I've been thinking actually to do these videos on a weekly basis. If you do want me to do that, then do let me know. Of course, it will require quite a significant amount of my time, but enough people think that they will benefit from me doing these videos weekly instead of doing them monthly, then I'll be more than happy to set some time aside to make sure that I get these videos out to you on a weekly basis instead. So yeah, if you want me to be a bit more consistent and drop these videos weekly, then drop the word weekly in the comments. I'll count how many people do it. And if there's enough people commenting weekly, then I'll have to give the people what they want. But yeah, thank you for watching my portfolio update for this month. If you found it useful, please drop a like and a comment. If you're not already subscribing, please do subscribe. It just helps me stay consistent. The more subscribers I have, the more inclined I will be to make these videos. So yeah, please do just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you back here again very, very soon. Peace out.